Hi, everybody. I'm Karen Warwick, and I'm a registered holistic nutritionist. Today, I'm going to tell you my weight loss journey. Okay, so I'm just going to go to slides here. Okay, so this is my fat vegan story, an adventure in experimentation, and finally transformation. Okay, as I said, I am a holistic nutritionist. I was a yo-yo dieter for over 30 years, probably closer to 40 now. I lost and regained 25 pounds or more at least 5 times over my life. I'm a recovering binge eater bulimic since I was 17 when McDonald's opened in my little town. Okay, so my journey to become a vegan started in 2013, and this just so happens to be the time that I got married to my second husband. And at that point, in the picture on the left, I weigh about 160 pounds, I'd say. And then the after picture, I'm down to my goal weight, which was 119 pounds. Okay, another before and after, also around the same time, my birthday. I weigh about the same. That skirt is a size 16, and on the right, my pants are a size 6. And there I am with a big, beautiful birthday cake and wearing slimming black in July. And here I am, even though I am still wearing slimming black, I don't have to anymore. And there I am with my big salad and the book that I wrote, Break the Cycle, about my journey. Okay, so from 2013 to 2015, I transitioned to a vegan diet, which was pretty easy for me because I was never really a big meat eater anyway. And I wanted to try a vegan diet because my family suffers from high cholesterol and heart issues. And I'd gone to the doctor and my cholesterol levels were way up there. So I thought the best way to do that is to get rid of the animal products because animals contain cholesterol, as we do as animals. And I figured, well, if I cut out half the equation, maybe I stand a better chance of lowering my cholesterol. But unfortunately, I used vegan cookbooks to help with my transition. And they sort of simulated like meat meals using these fake or faux products. And they contain a lot of fat and a lot of salt. And as a result, I was a junk food vegan. There was no significant weight loss over this 2-year period, but I did feel in September 2015, I started at the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition. I wanted to become a holistic nutritionist, partly because I wanted to find a way to finally lose this weight in a healthy way. Okay, and then in 2016 to 2018, my highest weight was 156. My lowest weight was 146. And that doesn't mean I started at 156 and finished at 146. That means that I cycled all through those 2 years, those 10 pounds, couldn't get under 146. I graduated from the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition in August of 2016. And what I learned from those studies was that they rely a lot on supplementation and fermented foods to help with the gut microbiome. So I learned how to make kimchi, kombucha, and miso. And I did get rid of my acid reflux and my hypothyroidism with the use of supplementation and dietary changes. But the drawbacks was that supplementation is super expensive and you rely more on the supplementation rather than the food to support your body. So I found that was, it just seems silly to me that I'd be paying for vitamin C and then eat an orange and you get the same result. So So then I tried juicing the Jason Fail 5 pounds in 5 days, and I did lose those 5 pounds, and the juices were delicious. But when I continued for like the second 5 days, um, no, there was no weight loss, and I stopped pooping. And I was preoccupied with food and chewing and just getting something to eat. And so I had vicious cravings as well. So it wasn't sustainable. And then I tried the FMTV 21-day program, and FM stands for Food Matters program. And they have healthy, delicious, and satisfying recipes. But there's a lot of cooking every day, a lot of prep work, and there's lots of fat in the diet, healthy fats, granted, lots of avocados, nuts, and seeds, um, and healthy sugar substitutes such as maple syrup and what's that others, honey. And so I really didn't, obviously, I really didn't lose that much weight. Okay, in 2019, my highest weight was 155 and my lowest weight was 140. Come January 1st, I was highly motivated because I had my 40th class reunion coming up in June. So I really was getting serious about losing the weight. So I tried the John Gabriel 12-week program. And the benefits of that program was that I did lose 10 pounds. It's a well-designed program, and there's lots of stuff to watch, and there is support. And it introduced me to guided meditation and tapping, which are important tools to have if you carry a lot of stress, which probably everybody does. Okay, so the drawbacks were there was still a lot of fat in the diet, still relying on some healthy oils, avocados, nuts and seeds, and nut butters and things like that. There was no clear eating plan, just recipes that you got to choose. So there was for me, there was just a little bit too much freedom as far as what I could get away with, what I could eat. And it was time consuming to do all the tasks that I felt that I needed to do. And finally, it assumes that you've had a past trauma that has affected your weight all your life. Okay, and in my case, I didn't have any past trauma. I had a great childhood. Apart from being dumped by an ex-boyfriend 1 or 2 times, there wasn't any serious trauma. So there was no real healing that had to be involved. And because I didn't have past trauma, I didn't really relate to the course. I couldn't see how this could heal me. But for a lot of people that this is an issue for, they get a lot of benefit from this program. So then I tried Joel Fuhrman's Nutritarian diet, which is quite similar to the diet that I'm now on. And the benefits of this diet are that it's a whole food plant-based program, which I highly promote for health and for weight loss. But the drawbacks for me was that it relied on a lot of nuts and seeds and nut butters in the recipes. So that's just added fat and calories for me, who's only, well, I won't say my height, but I'm under 5 feet. So and shrinking probably. So for me, like the added fats from these recipes were really keeping me from achieving a great weight loss. Also, they have G-bombs at every meal, and G-bomb stands for greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, and berries. Okay, but at every meal, I could not stomach mushrooms because I like mushrooms, but every meal, it just got to be too much for me. And I'm an all or nothing kind of person. So when I couldn't get the mushrooms in or whatever, I felt that I was failing in the program. And as a result, I gave it up after a short period of time. So here we are still in 2019, October. I wanted to get serious. I was approaching my 60th birthday and I wanted to get this taken care of for good. As you know, all my life I've been up and down with my weight, and I just wanted to finally figure out how to keep it off and get it off and keep it off. So I went to visit my family doctor and I fessed up about my bulimia and my binge eating. And he sent me to a counselor um, to talk about these issues. And that was no help at all. She was about, she wasn't of normal weight herself. And so we just had a nice chat. I didn't really get anything out of it. When you're older and you suffer from an eating disorder, it's very difficult to find support. Um, so from that, I figured, okay, I got to do it on my own. I got to do it on my own. So I also, because I was so concerned about my weight, my doctor told me about an injectable weight loss medication that's available in Canada, and it is very, very, very expensive. Um, and but I wasn't so concerned about that because my medical plan with my job and combined with my husband's medical plan, we could afford it, but it's just wasn't worth it. And so he gave me the name of this product, which I won't mention here, but I looked it up online and there were so many side effects from it. And in conjunction with that, um, you still had to watch what you ate and exercise. So I thought, why would I spend all this money? You know, my Scottish blood got all riled up, and I said, why would I spend all this money on something that has a very small benefit, a lot of side effects, and a hell of a lot of money? So, I just said, no, forget that. So I went to my naturopathic doctor for a visit and I tried all the tests. I told her my intention to lose weight. So we tried the electromagnetic test for food sensitivities, which is it's a pretty cool device that you hold on to, and it beeps and it farts and it does all kinds of things. And it tells you what foods you're sensitive to, which was a bit of an eye opener for me. And it helped me sort of like shape the next part of my journey. So I also had stool tests for parasites and candida. So I went on this anti-candida protocol, which meant also no tofu. Okay, so I took all those Joel Furman beautiful dressings that were usually half tofu and half like raw cashews. And I removed the tofu and just loaded up with the cashews and made these fantastic dressings. And they were delicious because of all that fat, but they were super fattening. So I wasn't losing any weight at all. I was, most of the time I was gaining weight. Okay. And the last thing that I tried with her, which was also expensive, were these peptide injections. And these are, you give yourself a shot in the tummy, just like you would if you were diabetic, every morning. And a peptide is a protein chain. And by injecting them, they help with your energy and your weight loss. And they were fairly expensive as well. But I felt a lot better. I had a lot of bruises on my tummy, but I felt a lot better. And I guess I did lose some weight, but nothing really spectacular. So it just goes to show you that like a pill or a shot isn't really going to, or a supplement, or using a supplement isn't really going to solve the problem of weight loss on its own. Okay, in 2020, I was over the edge of food addiction. My highest weight was 150 and my lowest was 145. So only a 5-pound cycle now. Okay. And that's because of all the beautiful vegan fats, the Thai coconut curry, coconut milks, and the cauliflower wings with the cashew dressings. Absolutely delicious. And popcorn popped in coconut oil. And I'd buy those those giant Costco coconut oil things. And I managed to get through them. I use a lot of coconut oil. And for me, my big weakness was spaghetti. Now, even though I gave up wheat spaghetti because I had a sensitivity to gluten, which I discovered, even the brown rice spaghetti or the whatever other kind of spaghetti made from beans or quinoa or whatever I tried, I couldn't control the portions because spaghetti or noodles were a big food trigger for me. So even though I simply couldn't portion control it, so I ate that. I ate way too much of that. Okay, so with my food addictions and binging, I couldn't string more than 4 days together without binging. So like every Monday with good intentions, I'd be good for, I'd eat well, I'd eat like according to a plan for 4 days. And then come the fourth day, the Thursday or the Friday, I'd go off the rails again and start binging. Oh, this was also, yeah, but in August of 2020, I discovered Chef AJ's 21-day program, and I went on that, and it taught me a whole new way of eating. And so my highest weight was 145 when I started that program, and my lowest weight, and still is 119, and I just fluctuate in my goal weight. It I'm not saying that I could lose 26 pounds in 21 days. That's not possible. But the information that I learned from that program and that I could continue on with helped me to take off the weight and keep it off. Okay, so Chef AJ, in my opinion, is a goddess. She's fantastic. This is what I learned from her. I learned about a whole food, plant-based lifestyle, which is another way of saying vegan, but it using caloric density. And that means that no two foods are created equal as far as calories go. So for example, non-starchy vegetables like carrots and greens and all those sorts of things, they're only 100 calories a pound. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have oils and fats that are 4,000 calories a pound. Okay. So if you're eating a very clean diet, lots of veggies and things like that, it doesn't matter because you're canceling it out with the high calorie fats that you're adding to your diet. So you're going to be over your caloric limit for the day just by all these hidden fats that are in regular food. Okay, so also I learned about SOFA's free, and SOFA stands for salt, oil, flour, alcohol, and sugar free. And by eliminating these 5 elements from my diet, I got over my food addiction to them. And also I could lose weight and keep it off. And I also learned how to make food delicious without sugar, oil, and salt, which is something like that we need to do in order to lose weight. And Chef AJ, being a chef, she knew how to do this and to still stay on plan, how to remove these things but still get the flavor. Also, I learned from her how to bulk cook for a week. There's, when you're a processed food addict, you're always thinking about food anyway. And if you're cooking 3 times a day, you're so preoccupied with food, there's nothing left in your life but cooking and thinking about and planning and all that. But if you bulk cook once a week, and you can like take out your frozen soup or whatever out of the freezer and have it ready in 5 minutes, then it just makes it so much easier. So also I learned from her that if it's in your house, it's in your mouth. She says this all the time, and that is the solution of having a clean environment. If the food's not there, you can't eat it. So if you have your environment clean, you stand a better chance of being able to stay on plan. And also to find a supportive online community is really important. You can't rely on your friends or your family to give you the support and the direction that you need, because they they may be addicted themselves, they may be overweight themselves, and you're not the one to teach them when you still have so much weight to lose. So finding a supportive online community of like-minded people that are on the same journey as you is really really important. Okay. So if Chef AJ is a goddess, Dr. Doug Lisle is a god. Dr. Doug Lisle is a brilliant evolutionary psychologist, and he taught me why I struggled with binging and purging. And that was because I am in a personality test that I did. You could find it on his website. Um, I learned that I am highly conscientious. And so what would happen, as you'll remember, like I'd be very, very good for 4 days, and then I would binge. Yeah. And I'm so conscientious that I sort of wanted to erase that from my mind. So I'd puke it up. And it's like, ooh, it didn't happen. You know, I've canceled it out somehow. And that's what the way I was thinking in my brain. And once I learned that was what I was doing. It wasn't because of some past trauma or anything. It was because I was hyper conscientious. And so once I learned that, well, then I go, oh, okay, well, if that's the thing, well, then I know my pattern. I know why I do what I do. And since then I haven't perched since that time, since I learned that incredible lesson. Now, I'm not saying that that'll work with everybody with binging and purging disorder, bulimia, but it worked for me. Maybe it'll work for some of you. Okay, so weighing in once a month. That was another one thing that I learned from him. I was a scale monkey. I would be jumping on and off the scale all the time. I'd be good for 3 days and I'd jump on the scale and there'd be no change, or there would be a change. And if there was a change, if I lost weight, it's like, oh, let's celebrate. Or if I gained weight, it's, oh, I'm gonna give up this and let's go to the store and buy some stuff. By weighing in once a month, um, you sort of like take that scale out of the equation. Okay, so you get the bad news up front, how much you weigh, and then you go the month, and by the end of the month, you're going to see a significant weight drop. Because by weighing in like once a week or once a day, what are you weighing? What are you really seeing on that scale? Is it water? Is it glycogen? What are you weighing? Is it really fat loss over such a short period of time? No, it's not. You have to give yourself some time to see an actual weight loss. And I found that by waiting the month, that it would keep me on track. I would be so focused on getting, like, for example, a 6-pound weight loss for the month. I'd be so focused on that number, I wouldn't want to mess it up. It's like waiting for your favorite show that's going to come on next week, the next episode. So by keeping off the scale and not really knowing, that the work that you're doing each and every day is going to get you to the number that you want to see on the scale at the end of the month. Okay, so, and also I learned a lot from him about food addiction. And he has a brilliant book called The Pleasure Trap that explains it all, why we get caught in the pleasure trap of eating these highly addictive foods and how difficult it is to get out of it. So that's what I learned from him. Okay, so the lessons I learned in general is that don't add things to your life, you subtract it, right? So keep the foods as simple as possible. Bulk cook and don't worry about fancy ingredients. Just try and keep it super simple. And supplementation, as I mentioned, you can't supplement yourself out of a bad diet. So there's only one that you really need to think about taking, and that's B12. And B12 is actually a bacteria that's found in soil. So maybe if you ate your carrots fresh out of the ground, you would get your B12. But most people know that you have to wash it because B12 is not the only thing that's in dirt, right? There's also some bad things, and that's why we wash our vegetables. So So please supplement with your B12. Okay, so another thing that I learned is you don't add, you subtract. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need expensive equipment. All you need to do is walk, you know, especially initially when you're first starting your weight loss journey. Don't worry about like long exercise routines or everything. Just concentrate on getting the food right and get a bit of exercise, but not to lose weight. Get exercise to make yourself feel better. And day by day, as your diet improves and you start to feel better, then yeah, incorporate more exercise or join a class or do what you want to do. But don't think that you have to do that in order to be successful initially with your weight loss. Okay, and another thing is don't add or subtract. You can't expect an expensive cream or new hair product or whatever to make you beautiful. You let the food do the work. If you're eating a nice, clean, whole food, plant-based diet, you're going to get your vitamins and minerals, and you're going to become beautiful from the inside out. So that's what I have to say about that. Okay, so this is what I eat in a day. As I mentioned, I'm under 5 feet, so I only eat twice a day. I eat brunch and dinner. Okay, so there we have over, the salad is like about 1.5 pounds of vegetables. I chop down all my greens so that I can fit it all in the bowl, and 1 pound of fruit. And then on the right, we have Caesar salad with air fried croutons and a faux Parmesan cheese on top. Absolutely fantastic. And then here I have a lentil stew on a bed of brown rice and carrots and homemade hummus for to get in those extra vegetables. Okay, so finally I have food freedom. I'm using simplified bulk cooking and shopping. I'm no longer preoccupied with dieting and what I am eating next. My environment, my food environment is clean. There's no bad food in my environment to tempt me to eat off plan. I have a higher self-esteem. I'm no longer suffering from self-disgust and disappointment by binging and purging. I have the peace of a calm mind and tons of free time to focus on what is important. And I had so much free time that I wrote a book, and my book is called Break the Cycle, Lose Weight and Maintain Your Weight and maintain your goal weight for the rest of your life. And that's available on Amazon. My website is www.karenwarwickrhn.com. And on the website, you can find health articles, all compliant recipes, a link to my 5-day Break the Cycle challenge, which teaches newbies how to get the food right, and my link to my 30-day healthy weight loss challenge, because not everybody's a reader. This basically walks through all the strategies and just walks you through the whole program in order to develop this healthy weight loss strategy and lifestyle. Okay, so finally, just like and subscribe my video, and I hope to provide you with lots more information, especially about food addiction.